Hi, I'm Ashley,
And I'm Andrea.
and welcome to Two Therapists and a Cocktail, keeping it real.
Hello, party people. It's almost
Hey, hey,
summertime.
hey. It
It's almost
is.
summertime.
How did we get to the end of May?
How did we get here? I feel like it was just spring. Spring just started. But it's literally
Yes,
been 2 months since spring started. My gosh.
yes.
And it's
And we're
summertime.
slipping into June.
Yep, it's time to start getting your summer bodies ready. Time to start drinking more water so that you can drink more alcohol.
Well, Andrea, they really
Cleanse
should
your
have
body.
started from January. They should
That's when you should
started
have
from
started.
January.
That's when you should have started. That's when you should have started.
Yes.
Go ahead and hop on over to Planet Fitness, get you a $10, gym
Okay.
membership. Start taking care of yourself
Yes.
now so you can be out there. And most
Yeah.
importantly, start taking care of your mind, which is what we're talking about
Yeah.
today. Hmm.
Yes, we are because this is the ending of Mental Health Awareness Month. If y'all don't know that, May
Hmm.
is Mental
Yeah.
Awareness Month. Yeah.
It is. I wonder why they decided to choose May. Like, is that like
Mm,
signify like new beginnings or
mm,
like just because it's summertime and you kind of just want to
yeah.
get out there? Like, why did they choose May? I wonder. That's so
I'm
cool.
not sure. I don't know if maybe
Mhm.
because May starts with a M, mental health starts with a M, so they were like, let's
Or
just put that in here. I don't know.
yeah, or it's about to be May Day. You're crashing.
Ooh,
So let's talk
maybe.
about your brain. Yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
that. It could
So
be that. Yeah.
So, what is something that you think is really important when you're thinking about Mental Health Awareness Month?
I think stress. Because let's be
Mm,
honest, we all experience stress.
yeah.
And sometimes we don't even know or we're aware of what that looks like. Because it looks different for
Hmm.
everybody.
Yeah.
And there's so many different types of stress,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know?
And I think like you're always saying, like can feel those things in your body. And sometimes if you don't pay
Yeah.
attention to those things, it can kind of snowball into other problems. Like some people get
Again.
stress headaches, some people get extremely
Mhm.
fatigued. And
Yeah.
if you're constantly like ignoring those things, you find that you get really bad colds because your
Yeah.
body is trying to tell you to slow down, or you get like extremely sleepy, or some
Yeah.
people have an extremely short fuse and they don't know why they're so upset. And it's because you've been juggling
Yeah.
a million and one things. So
Right.
you're stressed
Right.
out.
And what a lot of people don't realize what's actually happening in the body is that you're if you're going through so much stress, it just activates your nervous system. Your
Hmm.
cortisol levels are high, your adrenaline is high, your nervous
Hmm.
system is like on go, go, go constantly.
Constant.
You
Yeah.
you in flight and fight constantly. Survival
Hmm.
mode constantly.
Hmm.
So that, like you're
Hmm.
saying, Andrea, that causes your nervous system to just break down.
Yeah.
That's why some people
Yeah.
are like, "Man, I don't usually have a cold. Why do I have a cold now?" Well,
Hmm.
maybe you've been stressed.
Yeah. And if you find that
Yeah.
it's perfectly good weather outside and you don't have allergies typically, but you got a
Yeah.
cold and you haven't been around anybody who's been sick, you
Might be stress,
might
honey.
need to figure out if that's a stress cold. And there's
Yeah.
so many like easy, like I'm not gonna say easy because obviously, like I think something that we might say is the first thing is recognition. First, you have to recognize that you're stressed. And I think
Yeah.
that is a really, really hard thing to do because you
Yeah.
have to basically say, like, there is too much on my plate. That does not
Yeah.
mean that you failed at anything. That just means
Right.
that you've decided to take on a lot of responsibilities at once and
Yeah.
life happens and you just have to
Yeah.
shift accordingly. And that
Yeah.
does not mean you failed. If you decide to take one thing off your plate, that doesn't mean that you failed. If you decide to ask for help, that does not mean you failed. If you decided to give back a responsibility to someone who it
Yeah.
probably belongs to, that does not mean that you failed. That just means
Right.
that it's not for you to handle. It's not for you.
Right. And
So give it
and
back.
and and it's a mindset. Why do you feel like because you have to let something go that means failure? Is that the story
Mhm.
that you're telling yourself? You know? Because specifically
Mhm.
to stress, we all experience it,
Yeah.
whether it just be taking a test or driving to go to work or driving to go somewhere. Like Andrea,
Mhm.
going in that Atlanta traffic, if y'all have ever been to Atlanta,
Oh my gosh.
that traffic gonna stress you out.
Yes.
From
Immediately.
Right. From there's like maybe a death in the family. Like that causes stress.
Mhm.
Or maybe your boss
Mhm.
getting on your darn nerves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever
Yeah.
experienced that? Your boss getting on your
I think we
nerves?
all have. I think we all have. I think we all
Hmm.
have. And I think that's the tricky thing about stress. Sometimes
Yeah.
there are, I'm not going to use the word optional stressors, but I'm going to say
Hmm.
stressors that you don't have to take on. So, for
Mm.
example, when someone gets on your nerves,
Yeah.
would it be optional? Yes. That's an optional stress to me. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing, if I had to engage with you at work and that's only 8 hours, we have pretty good boundaries enough for you to know as
Yeah.
soon as 501 hits, don't talk to me no more.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
we're done for the day. Then
Yeah.
everything that happened during the day, I don't have to take that home with me. And that's,
Right.
I think we've talked about this before. Like some
Yeah.
things you say, okay, I'm in this moment right now. How do I manage the stress? Okay, I got to do some deep breathing. I got to put on maybe like some soft music, maybe I get a diffuser,
Yeah.
maybe I put on something to really kind of keep me calm. But as soon
Yeah.
as 501 hits, guess where I'm going to leave it? At my desk. And then I'm going to
That's
go
right.
home and then I'm gonna leave it
Right.
there. I'm just gonna
Right.
leave it. I'm going to leave it there. And I think
Yeah.
that's something that you have to begin doing. Decide for yourself, is this an optional stressor? How long
Right.
do I want this stress to last? Is it gonna last from, I don't know, 9 to 5, and then I leave it, and then I go on about my day? Because
Yeah.
there's still time left in the day after 5 o'clock. Don't
That's
let your
right.
9 to 5 stress you from 9 to 9.
That is
Don't
right.
don't do that. Leave it,
Yeah.
sort it in your mind as an optional stressor.
Yeah. That's even
Yeah.
like, so you can even include friendships and family with that, right? Sometimes there's
Mhm.
drama, and sometimes other family members want you to be a part of it. That doesn't mean that you need to insert yourself. That might be
That
something
part.
that it's like, oh, they trying to dish it to you. You might need to give it right back. It doesn't
Yeah.
involve you. If two
Yeah.
family members are going at it, honey, they need to figure it out. That sounds like a
They
them
do.
problem. Because when you
And
put
I think
yourself in
sometimes,
it,
yeah.
it just
Mhm.
causes
Then
extra on you. I agree with you, Andrea. Like, if it ain't, if when it comes to family and friendships, and the situation has nothing to do with you,
mhm.
you're right. Mind your business.
Just
Ain't got
mind your
nothing to do with
business.
you. Stay in your lane. That's it
Yeah.
right there. Stay in your lane.
Mhm.
So many times
Mhm.
we feel like we have to be a part of the mess. Stay out of it.
Yeah.
Stay out of
Be-
it.
because what is that going to solve? Nothing. It's
Nothing
probably
at all.
going to extend it for
Yes.
longer because
Yes.
now you have feelings in the issue. Optional stress.
Yeah.
Optional. Now,
Yeah.
some things are not optional. Like when we're thinking about medical
Mm.
problems, those aren't
Mm.
optional. And so,
Yeah.
what is some advice that maybe you give to someone who has a really, maybe a terminal illness? How do
Yeah.
they deal with that stress?
Just from people that I know from experience, like family members, like this was years ago. I remember having a cousin that had cancer. She had
Mm,
leukemia as a teenager. And
mm,
that brought on a lot of stress, not just for her, the person experiencing it, but the family. Because what's the
yeah,
first thing that you think about when somebody has cancer? That they just gonna die?
right,
Which
right.
isn't necessarily true. There's many of people
Yeah,
that have survived cancer. But I think it's important to really just if you're a person that has a illness, um, really just check in with yourself
Mhm.
and figure out how is this making you feel. How is it making you feel? Do you feel tension in your body? I know in previous episodes we talk about feeling it in your body. How does that feel for you?
Mhm.
And just really taking some time to figure out, yes, I'm experiencing this, but how can I still live my best life?
Yeah.
Because having an illness doesn't necessarily mean, like we just said, that it's just going to lead to death. It might just be for right now that you're experiencing this thing, but it's your job to do your best to fight it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that involves living your best not life if you can, because
Yeah.
there's some people that have certain illnesses and they can't walk, they can't get up,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So just
Yeah.
figuring out, okay, I'm experiencing this. What can I do about that? How can I make
Yeah.
sure that I'm okay mentally and emotionally?
Yeah.
And who's my support system too?
Yeah. I think that's something that can be applied to all instances when you experience extreme stress is
Mhm.
being grateful for the best
Mhm.
moments that you are having.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times like when you're stressed, like so stressed, you'll miss out on everything because you decided not to focus on it. I remember like I was like really
Yeah.
really stressed out and I was like just I was taking a walk somewhere and I was
Yeah.
just overwhelmed by like this really nice fragrance. And like I looked over to the side and it was just like lilacs just blooming. And it just smelled
Wow.
so great. And it was such an
Yeah.
overwhelming smell. And I never do this. Like I'm not a nature girl at all. But something in me was like, take one. And so I just plucked it like off the wall like this
Yeah.
huge lilac wall. I plucked it off the wall and I just stood
Ooh.
there and
Yeah.
just smelled it. And I was
Yeah.
like, we have got to start stopping. Just stop for just a
Yeah.
minute. 1
Yeah.
minute of just being in that moment is not it's not gonna mess up anything. Like
Yeah.
1 minute is excusable if you're already late. 1 minute is
Yeah.
excusable if you're early. 1 minute is excusable if you're on time. Just take a minute
Right.
and just look at everything around you. If you've had terrible weather for the past 2 weeks, if it's a sunny day, enjoy the sunny weather. Just take a break because life moves too fast anyway. So take a break and take in the moment.
There we go. You
Hmm.
froze.
Oh, man. Okay. I think it's my internet. Let me mark this again.
Okay. I thought it was mine because the weather is raining over here.
Jeez. Okay. All right, and go.
Okay. What did you last say? Because you froze and
I,
then.
no. I said just take in the moment and just enjoy life.
So I totally agree with you on that. I think we live in a world where it's the constant hustle and bustle. There's things that need to get done. There's things that whether that's at work or in the home or with family or friends, and we don't take the time to just smell the roses or smell the flowers like you're saying. I mean, if we're not at work and hanging with family, we on our phones. So when do we just get to just be present? And
Mm-hmm.
just just from talking to some of the clients that I'm seeing now, a lot of them have a hard time just sitting and being quiet with themselves.
Mm.
They find it so hard to just
Mm-hmm.
be,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if maybe their mind is constantly going. Like even though they're not doing the
Mm-hmm.
thing, it's like their mind is constantly like, "Oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to get on the phone, I got to."
Mm-hmm.
We got to learn how to just be more mindful and intentional
Yeah.
on just being present with yourself in your body. That's why a lot of people have a hard time um with realizing like, "Hey, I am stressed." Because you're so busy going and going that you don't even realize it.
You have not paid attention to any of the signs.
None
Mhm.
of it. You got a headache.
None.
Your chest is tight. Your back hurt. Your joints hurt. And you think,
Mhm.
oh, I'm gonna just pop this Advil or Tylenol, and I'll be fine, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
I
keep
mean,
going, and I'm gonna be okay.
yeah. And a lot of times, something that I am starting to realize, and a lot of people, like, a lot of times we say, like, you feel it in your body,
Mhm,
you might have headaches, you might have back pain, and all of that. But a lot of people
mhm.
have trouble with their weight when they're stressed. Some
Yeah,
people gain a lot of weight, some people lose a lot of weight, and some people even break out, their
yeah.
skin breaks out. And you have to like
Yes.
start noticing stuff like that, like what's kind of going on. And some people lose their hair, like just so many things
Mhm.
happen. And when you think about it, like I think that kind
Yeah,
of goes to say like what people's coping skill has been over the years. Like some people were like, I just want to
yeah,
feel better. I'm just gonna go get ice cream. That'll make me feel better. But
yeah,
really, like, and I love a good ice cream cone. But even like
yeah,
with that, you had to at some point face the music. Figure
yeah,
out why you're sad.
yeah,
Cause I don't
yeah.
I don't I don't think you've maybe realized why you're so sad. So unpack
And I
that.
think right, and I think that's the thing, right? So, like you, I love a good ice cream cone, but
Mhm.
am I only eating the ice cream and eating the cakes and the pies and the cookies when I'm stressed?
Right.
Or is it just a random treat? Because that's what leads to addiction. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
stressed, so let me go get some ice cream after work. But you're doing that every day now. Now we're eating a
Yeah.
pint of ice cream every day.
Every day.
Now
You're
I'm
taking
drinking
it
a
too
bottle.
far.
Right. Now I'm drinking a bottle of wine every day. And how is that taking
Yeah.
care of yourself?
Mhm.
Now
You
we're
gotta
in the
figure all
mode
of that
of
out.
right. Now we're in the mode of stuffing things down. Ooh, I don't
Mhm.
want to deal with the root. I don't want to deal with the root of it. So I'm just going to eat this ice
Yeah.
cream, these cookies and drink this alcohol or do these
Yeah.
drugs and I'm going to be fine. But years and years of that causes problems.
It causes serious
Now you're
problems. And
dependent. Yeah.
yeah. And I think a lot of times, like, you have to have some really tough conversations with people. Like, rip the band-aid
Yeah.
off. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes we just say to ourselves, oh well, I'll put a pin in it. I just don't wanna have to deal with it right now. Guess what still knows it's going on? Your body. Your
That's right.
body hasn't put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Your feelings, your heart hasn't put a pin in it. You've
Not
just
at all.
decided to ignore it. You're not putting a pin in it, you're ignoring it. And
Yeah.
that's going to show up. Like, start having conversations with people about uncomfortable things if it causes you
Yeah.
stress. Start
Yeah.
saying, this is really not working. This is
Yeah.
really bothersome to me in a way
Yeah.
that I can't sustain anymore. Because if I sustain, I'm going to own stock in Bluebell. So I have
Okay.
to stop this madness.
Yeah.
You have to stop. And then you'll
Yeah.
find like, and a lot of times, like, and I think you mentioned it, like you keep running and running and running and running and just doing stuff that you
Yeah.
wake up and you're like, I'm really stressed out. That's because you're
Yeah.
not taking time to look at everything. And that's why I
Right.
really suggest that people do a brain dump at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
all of that out of your head. Even if
Yeah.
it's going to take an hour to do the brain dump. Get it out of your head so that you can experience some kind of peace going to sleep. Like remove it from your mind so that you can
Yeah.
have a clean mindset.
Yeah.
And then pour into yourself so that you can really feel at ease.
Yeah. I like the brain dump, Andrea, and maybe taking it a little further. So let's say you write it all out, whatever it is that you're gonna leave today. You're not gonna take that
Mhm,
on to the next day. You're gonna dump it out.
mhm.
If you feel like you need to burn it, if you feel like you need to flush it,
Burn it.
do something with it and
Yeah,
and tell yourself, I am leaving this here today. Today. I'm not taking it. I'm not gonna
yeah,
wake up tomorrow with
yeah,
this. I'm
yeah,
leaving it here today.
yeah,
And
and don't
sometimes you
even
got
feel
to do
like you have
that.
to revisit it. Yeah, don't revisit it
Right,
either.
right.
Leave it.
Or
Leave it there.
after a long day, take a nice relaxing shower. Maybe
Mhm.
even imagine like, ooh, I'm in these
At the
magical
spa.
waterfalls that's just going to
Yeah.
release it, wash it away,
Yes.
and just see
Yeah.
how that feels. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. And
I
I
love a
know a
good
lot of
bath.
and girl, I love a good shower. And
Okay.
I was also thinking about like since we're thinking about like summertime, like I know a lot of people are maybe like trying to plan trips and trying to do all of these things, but
Mhm.
then your bills still exist. Baby, pay those
Yes.
bills, but then go on your vacation.
Yeah.
Don't let anything talk you out of treating yourself. I think way
Yeah.
too often we're just like, "Oh, well I got this, and I got this obligation and this obligation." Guess what? Those obligations, they ain't going nowhere.
That's right. That's
But your
right.
time on earth
Yeah.
is every day. Every day. You just
Yep.
you going through the motions, but what have you done for you?
Right. Right.
Even if it's
And
buying yourself a cookie, even if it's
yeah.
booking a massage, look on Groupon. Book yourself something cheap and
Yeah.
just treat yourself. That's another way to manage your stress. Because if you
Yes.
always feel like your life is just going to paying other people, you're going to look up and be like, what did I work for? I didn't do anything for
Right.
myself.
Right.
Do
But
something
there's
for
another
you.
side to it too, Andrea, because you got people that
Hmm.
really have no understanding of financial literacy, and they need help with learning how to
Hmm.
budget because they spending too much. And that's why
Yeah.
you got a lot of people living out here beyond their means. You get 30,000. Now this is just an example, y'all. You make $30,000 a year, and you
That's
over
low
here, you well,
for
that's
some.
just an example. But you over
Okay.
here living like you Diddy or something. That ain't gonna work, boo.
At
That means
all.
you need to get your priorities in order
Yeah.
and figure out how can you better budget. And if it's more
Yeah.
money that you need, you may need another job that's gonna pay you more than $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
Because the way
Yeah.
inflation is, you can't you,
Sure.
you can't live off of $30,000 a year.
No. No.
It's not a lot of
No.
money.
No.
Yeah,
And I'm glad that you kind of mentioned that. And I apologize to anybody
yeah,
who's making $30,000. Hey, you hustling, you doing your money the right way.
yeah,
You at it. You doing the thing.
yeah,
But I think
yeah,
another thing that like kind of comes into play sometimes is like people like since you said like if you making $30,000 you can't be behaving like you're Diddy or something, right? And I think that comes
yeah,
challenging when maybe your friends make more, and then that's a stressor for you because it's like
yeah.
you're comparing now, and it's like, oh, I gotta work 10 times harder to get to like where they're
Right,
at, and like I really
right.
want all of these things. Just be you. Just be you.
Yeah,
Literally enjoy the space that you're in right now. If you want to work harder because you want more for you. Not because you're
yes,
looking at what somebody else has over there
yeah,
across the street or
right,
on your Instagram. Like, just do it for you because
yeah,
that's what you want to do. That's something that's going to make you feel better. But let me tell you something
right,
about chasing these things that you believe will make you feel better.
right.
It's fleeting. It's a moment.
Yes,
You have to do the work for yourself that will sustain you. Financial things
right.
aren't going to make you happy forever.
Not at all.
You can buy a big
Not at all.
house, you can buy a
Yeah.
big car. Guess what? The walls in the house, the paint gonna chip eventually.
Mhm.
That car is gonna need an oil change just like every other car.
Yep. You gonna have to
That money in
maintain.
your account, yeah, that money in your account is still gonna have to go to bills eventually.
Yeah.
Do the work for yourself to be happy
Yeah.
in the moment that you're in.
That's
That's
right.
what's gonna sustain you.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
and I don't know if you've seen it, Andrea, but a really good show on Netflix that called How to Get Rich. It's like this financial
Mhm.
advisor talking to all these different people from different walks of life. You had the richest rich to not so rich and trying to figure it out.
Mhm.
And him
Mhm.
teaching them that figuring out your finances is doable. You can do it. You
Literally.
just got to be disciplined about how
Yeah.
you're managing your money and spending your money. It's
Mhm.
doable.
Mhm. It is. It absolutely
Yeah.
is. And don't feel like you have to start this thing like at the beginning of of July, at the beginning of fall. Start it on your next paycheck. Make a
Yeah.
list of your debt. One thing that I love that Dave Ramsey says is like the snowball,
Mhm.
like way to like
Yeah.
manage your debts. Like you start off like with the smallest and then you just or you start off with the highest and then it just trickles and then you just paying it off and paying it off.
Yeah.
Check out Dave Ramsey if you are in serious like financial struggles because he will
Yeah.
explain things in such an easy, quick, fast way because money is everyone's number one stressor. You either got too
Yes.
much, you don't know what to
Yes.
do with it, so you end up
Right.
spending recklessly, or you ain't got enough to do nothing. You
Right.
can't afford nothing.
Yeah.
So, figure out like different tips and tricks. Like look up Dave Ramsey, look up Netflix, how to get rich.
Yeah.
Do all of these things are available to you.
Yes.
Eliminate your stress with other people's wisdom.
That's right.
And I
And
think that's hard. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, and also think of money as a tool, y'all.
Please.
Money is a tool.
Mhm.
Like once you
Mhm.
understand that, you will look at it totally different.
For sure.
And you probably won't be as stressed as you are,
Mhm.
you know?
I agree. I
Um,
agree.
so y'all check out Dave Ramsey. Check out Netflix.
Mhm.
I agree. There's some other shows on Netflix that specifically
There is some
educates
other
people
show, yeah, and
on
I can't think
money.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
one of them
Check
is
those out.
Get Good with Money was another
Okay.
one. Um like four it was like these four financial advisors helped four families to figure it
Mhm.
out with different financial issues. Honey, I wish I was on the show.
Man. Man, help
Help me
me.
get my
Help
stuff
me.
together.
Yeah, yeah. But guys,
Yeah.
do not let money control you. You control your
Yeah.
assets. Control your money.
That's right.
Get financially
Yeah.
smart for sure. What else is a big stressor? So we've talked about medical stressors, we've talked about
Mhm.
money, family. What are some other stressors? How about just you? Maybe you stress you out. I think that's another thing people don't talk
I'm glad
about.
I'm glad you said that because there's
Mhm.
also like your lifestyle choices can cause stress. You not getting enough sleep. You on TikTok, I'ma call you out. You on TikTok and social
Mhm.
media all night,
Mhm.
knowing that you need to be in the bed because you got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Probably not a good
Literally.
choice. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
when you get done with work, you're just extremely exhausted. You might need to figure out how can I change my routine?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are some things that I need to quit doing?
Yeah. And
You
I
know?
think a big part of that, what I've learned as I grow older, is it really does matter what you eat.
Yes.
You gotta eat right, y'all. Because
Yeah.
if you're not, that will mess up your chemicals in your brain and in your
Yeah.
body. Like if you like have an indigestion or if you just have stomach aches because you just been eating a whole bunch of junk food. And that impacts
Mhm.
your mood too. Like if all you've been eating are root beer floats and hot Cheetos and just pizza
Ooh,
and all of
child.
this stuff, like
Yeah.
eventually you gonna need a vegetable. You need to, and here's I'm a little biased towards Smoothie King because they're
Mhm.
kind of like glorified milkshakes to me. Go to a juice bar to get some nutrients. Go get you a fresh pressed juice. Go get you a vegetable. Go eat something, go eat a fresh veggie or something. And maybe you'll find that you're a little less stressed.
I totally agree. Like, I don't know about you, Andrew, but when I eat foods that are not, well, nowadays they call it high vibrational, like your salads, your fruit, your
Uh-huh.
vegetables. When I don't eat
Uh-huh.
more of that, and let's say I'm eating chips a little bit more often, I really feel that. Like I feel sluggish.
Mm.
Like my mind ain't
Mm.
clear. And it's not just that. I might
Mhm.
decide to get some Twizzlers. I love Twizzlers.
Right.
And
Yeah.
believe it or not, I might eat a whole pack the same day.
Girl.
But
Girl,
I
okay.
feel that. And for you, for y'all ladies, I don't know about y'all, but when I eat trash, I'ma feel that when it's the time of the month. I feel it. The cramps are
Yeah.
worse than it was if I just consumed more of the fruits and the
Mhm.
vegetables, instead of a pack of Twizzlers and chips and chocolate, and
Mhm.
I feel that, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that
I
does
agree.
add stress on your body, especially like you were saying earlier, as we get older. Maybe when we were younger, we get away with it. But as we get
Right.
older, we really have to take care of ourselves, you
We
know?
do. We do. We
Yeah.
do. And I just appreciate, like, I don't know if I'm on a good algorithm or on TikTok or what it
Mhm.
is, but I see a lot of people drinking water, more water now. Like, when's
Mhm.
the last time that you folks out there have had a nice bottle of water?
Okay.
Probably not. It's probably
Yeah.
been a couple of days. Go get you
Yeah.
some water. Please
Yeah.
drink your water. It makes you feel better, like you're feeding your body, like
Yeah.
all of that. Like you got to take care of yourself and what you eat. What you
So
eat
it so
matters.
so Andrew, this the question, because there's a lot of people like this out there.
Hmm.
What do we tell the people that don't like to drink water? You know how many people I know that's like water is nasty.
Listen,
I don't want to drink that.
listen. I'm one of them. I will get a I'm quick to get a flavor pack. Girl, there's so many pack. You can put Crystal Light in
Yeah.
there. They now have like these Starburst packs, and you can put that
Yes.
in there. Have your water
Yes.
taste like. And I think
Yeah.
sparkling water actually made me enjoy water because
Okay.
I will get all the flavored water in the world. Because I don't.
Yeah.
I will drink regular water, but
Yeah.
if it got a little flavor in there, I'm quick to
Yeah.
get a flavor.
Yeah.
I just can't. I
Yeah.
can't. It's something about it. I'm like, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of picky when it comes to water. Like, I don't like Aquafina water. I like,
I don't
I don't
either.
know.
I don't.
I
Yeah.
don't like it. It tastes different. Some
It
just
does.
taste like maybe you've been by the brook of the water.
Not the brook.
The brooks. This is
And
the brooks. I don't like it.
and y'all, if you don't like the packets, like Andrew is saying, you could put some fruit in your water. Put some lemon. Put
You
some
better infuse
strawberries.
that.
Put some watermelon. Do something. You
Muddle
know?
it. Muddle that fruit in there. Yeah. Get it
Hydrate
good and cold.
yourself.
Mhm.
Cause what
Mhm.
you don't want to
Don't be
happen,
drinking lukewarm fruit water.
right? Cause what
Ah,
you don't want to happen, y'all, and this is real. You don't want to lose your kidneys. You need
literally.
water to hydrate and detox your system.
Mhm. Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, so
And
we're
that does
talking.
not come from juice.
It doesn't.
Drink
And
some
soda.
water. Plain water. Plain
Yeah.
water.
Yes.
Plain.
It's needed.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
Andrew, what are some
agreed.
things you feel like besides our life choices, like you said, we discussed life choices, we've discussed like sickness, family, friendships, those type of stressors. Um, what are your thoughts on what people can start incorporating to help with stress?
I think something that is extremely helpful are
Yeah.
journaling.
Yeah.
And I think there's so many great options with journaling now because if
Mhm.
you go to Target or Barnes and Noble or like wherever you shop, there's a lot of guided journals.
Yeah.
And sometimes that will help you kind of unpack a lot of things that you have going on in your mind. So if you don't
Yeah.
know what to write about, get a guided journal. And sometimes that will trigger some thoughts for you and be like,
Yeah.
hmm, maybe I do need to unpack this. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's okay to have maybe a guided journal and then do the guided journaling and then have your
Yeah.
blank journal on the side and be like, this is what came up for me while I was doing this activity.
Yeah.
I think another thing is taking a moment. I don't think we give ourselves the allowances to take moments. You need to do that because something
Yeah.
that you will never get back is a moment. You'll never get that back.
Yeah.
So, if you're really experiencing something amazing, or if you feel something really overwhelming, like just say to yourself, it is absolutely fine for me to take a moment for myself right now. So, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And make it as long as you want. If you're on a time crunch, make it 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Make it 2 minutes. What is 2 minutes
Yeah.
going to change? Nothing.
You're right. You're right.
Nothing. Two
Yeah.
minutes isn't going to change anything. And
Yeah.
so take that and don't worry about what's going to happen after the 2 minutes is over. Just enjoy the two
Yeah.
minutes. Enjoy the 2 minutes you have. Clear your
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one that I would probably suggest is treat yourself. Treat yourself whenever you can, but not to
Yeah.
a point where it becomes overindulgence. But treat
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you want to like take Friday off to do
Mm.
whatever you want to do. Take Friday off to do whatever you want to do. If
Yeah.
you really, really have worked out well, or maybe you've just been eating good and you want an ice cream on Saturday, get the ice cream. If
Yeah.
you really been eyeing something and you've been saving money, buy it. Clear your Amazon cart and get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do it because
Yeah.
you should enjoy your life. And if that's something that's going to make you
Yeah.
happy, why not? Why talk
Yeah.
yourself out of your happiness?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
are some of the things that I would suggest. What
I
about you?
think those are some great suggestions. My suggestion would
Mhm.
be meditation. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't realize that there's so many different types of meditations. You got the guided
Mhm.
visual ones where they guide you into like enjoying and experiencing the beach or a forest or a stream. And then you got the
Mhm.
ones where it's like body scanning, like gradually walking you
I
through
like those.
being in your body from head to toe. And then you got the ones
Mhm.
where it's like music. But it's not like music like with the
Mm.
words.
Mhm.
It's like the like sound bath music with the singing bowls and the different
Yes.
frequencies. And if you can just allow yourself, not force yourself, allow yourself to just take it in and breathe, just focus on your breath. People don't realize that changes so much. And that's another
Yes.
thing, using your breathing as a tool. We breathe every day. And if you don't
Mhm.
breathe, you're dead. Something is wrong. So
Basically, yeah.
so it's amazing how you can use your breath as a tool to just help your nervous system. Like one of my
Yeah.
favorite deep breathing techniques is it's called the 10 breaths. And how you do it
Mhm.
is you would breathe in for 1 and hold your breath for like 3 to 4 seconds, and then you would
Mhm.
slowly breathe out. And then you breathe in for 2,
Mhm.
hold your breath,
Mhm.
breathe out for 2. And you just keep doing that until you get to 10. I always use that
Mhm.
my clients that come in with a lot of stress,
Yeah.
and by the end of that
Yeah.
session, they're like, "Oh, I feel good." I was like, "That's exactly
Mhm.
where you want to get to. It's
Mhm.
possible to get
Mhm.
here. It's possible not
By
to
just breathing.
feel right by just breathing
Mm.
as a tool,
By just breathing. And it's free.
and, and it's free. You ain't got to pay to
Free.
breathe.
You
I would hope
don't.
not.
Oh no.
I would
Some
hope
of y'all might
not.
have oxygen tanks,
Uh,
but we're not
They
talking
might
about
have
those who got
oxygen. We
oxygen
ain't
tanks.
we ain't talk about that.
We ain't talking
We ain't
about
talk
y'all.
about that.
We're not talking
Yeah.
about y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that people can do, and this is more to deal with the body, get it moving. You got to move your body. Stop just sometimes there's some people that have a hard time just sitting there. You might just need to move your body. So if that means
Yeah.
shaking from head to toe, if that means stretching
Mhm.
or doing yoga or exercising,
Mhm.
it just helps to
Yeah.
get that energy moving out through your body. Maybe that's what's
Mhm.
causing the
Mhm.
tension. It just sits
Yeah.
there.
And just start. Just start. Just
Yeah,
start. I think that is the biggest kind of thing that I want like everyone to
yeah,
hear. Just start. Like don't find an excuse to hold off on it. Like
yeah,
just start. Like the breathing technique that you mentioned, you can do that today. You can do that right now. If you want to go take a walk,
yeah,
start off as a really small goal. I think sometimes
yeah.
we think about like resetting ourselves and we want to be more mindful and we want to take care of our bodies, but then we make our goals
Right,
too big and we're stressed
right,
over our goals to take care of
right,
ourselves. So
right.
if like let's say you have a workout goal, do
Yeah,
5 minutes. 5 minutes of exercise. That's better
yeah.
than the 0 minutes you did the day before.
That's right.
Just keep just just make
Yeah,
it small, make it intentional, and make it impactful for you.
yeah. I really want people to think. I heard this analogy about a week or two ago,
Mhm.
and it stuck with me. I've started using it with my own personal clients. I want people to start looking at themselves as a garden. We are all gardeners.
Mm,
And when you don't take care of yourself, what happens to that garden? It dries up,
dead.
it dies, weeds start
Mm.
growing. And so
Mhm.
we really need to be intentional about how are we watering ourselves? How are we watering
Yeah.
our
Oof.
garden? And when you don't take care of it, what it would look like. And as we know
Mhm.
it, our garden doesn't grow overnight. It takes
That
time.
part.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. Taking it day by day. Okay, what do I need to
Yeah.
start doing? Maybe I might need to start picking up them weeds first, because that's what's killing the garden is them weeds.
Mhm.
Maybe I need to start doing that. Now, does the soil need to change? Do I need to add more healthier
Mm.
soil? Do I need to start watering it more? Is it getting enough sunlight? Those are your
Yeah.
that is the self-care. The water,
Yeah.
nourishing soil, the sun. So it's the same way like what we need to do for ourselves. We need to make sure that we're
Mhm.
adequately taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
We only get
I've
one
loved
body.
yeah. 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 I
Yeah.
really like that analogy. The garden.
Yeah.
The garden. A lot of you guys should really like think about
Yeah.
that. Like what does my garden look like? And it's okay for you to look a hot mess. So clean it up.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes we go through different seasons in life where we were spanking new, we looked clean, we looked taper, everything. But for
Yeah.
some seasons, you look a mess. And it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay to be a mess. Sometimes acknowledge it, decide
Yeah.
what you want to do about it, and then do it.
And then do it. What's
And then
stopping
just
you?
do it. Yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yourself, your
Yeah.
mindset.
Yourself.
Because if
Yeah.
you keep
Your
on saying I
mindset.
can't, that's exactly what you're
You're
going
going
to
to
do.
believe it.
Right.
And you're gonna believe it. You're gonna believe it.
Mhm.
And it's so, and I think the last thing, like, I'll kind of say, like, about that, like, it's so important to have a growth mindset instead of a
Yes.
fixed mindset. And
Yeah.
you have to realize it starts in your mind. A lot of the
Mhm.
times you think that I'm never going to get out of the stress is because you have fixed your mind into believing there is no other way of surviving the way that you are. So you have to shift from that mindset into a growth mindset so that you can allow more possibilities and more opportunities into your life. And
Yeah.
until you really start to pay attention to where your mind is fixed on, you're not going to be able to sustain or to even do any of the things that we just suggested because you're not going to see the
Yeah.
point in it. Because if
Right.
you think of, like, if you're operating on a fixed mindset and we're like, you should do some deep breathing to like calm your body
Yeah.
and to just make you feel a little bit relaxed, you're going to be like, well, that's going to take 5 minutes of my time. And then what if, after I do all this breathing, I don't feel better and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But if you have a growth mindset, you'll at least be
Yeah.
like, well, I've never tried this before,
Right.
but there is a possibility that this just might work for me. And if it doesn't, I guess I'll just have to figure something else out. Or maybe I
Right.
did it wrong. Or maybe I just need to give myself longer than 10 seconds. But it's
Yeah.
so important that you recognize what your mindset is before even trying to change anything.
That's right. It
That's how,
first starts
yeah.
with your
Yeah.
mind and then it goes into your
Yeah.
actions,
Hmm.
your behavior.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your behavior.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's your last tip you got, girl, for these people, and as we close out Mental Health Awareness Month?
Well, honey, my tip is just you owe you. That's from Eric Thomas.
Mm,
If y'all don't know who
mm,
Eric Thomas is, the hip hop
mm,
motivator, you owe you.
mm-hmm.
So
You owe you.
really, really have this in your mind that if you don't do it, honey, nobody gonna do it for you. You owe you.
At all. At all.
You got to invest in
Agreed.
you. And sometimes that's hard to do, especially when you're not used to it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you owe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's a word. I'm here for it. Well, girl,
Yeah.
you got our numbers.
Ooh, and I got some new numbers added to the
You got some new
list.
numbers.
Some new numbers. So, of course,
Okay.
if you are in
Mm-hmm.
crisis and you want to harm yourself or harm somebody, please call 911. That's
Mm.
first. Like right
Immediately.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you having
Yes.
thoughts and ideations, call 911.
Yeah.
But there's the National Suicide Line at 1-800-723-8255. We got the Georgia Crisis and Access Line. If you live in Georgia, you can call at 1-800-715-4225. We got the lovely Crisis Intervention Hotline of Houston at 832
Mm-hmm.
416 1177. We got the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1
Okay.
800 799 7233. And I had to add this, Andrea, because sometimes we do talk about
Okay.
substance abuse. We got the Substance Abuse and
Mm-hmm.
Mental Health Services Administration Hotline, and it is one eight
Mm-hmm.
hundred 662 4357. And lastly, if you just don't feel like calling, but you want to talk to somebody, you could text NAMI,
Mm-hmm.
NAMI, to 741-741 to talk to a trained crisis counselor. And they're available 24/7
Mm-hmm.
and it's free. You ain't got to pay for it. It's free.
Free.
So these
Free.
are the numbers if you ever need them.
Love it. Love
Yes.
it. Love it. Love it. Well, y'all, we hope you got something, and we hope you use some of these tools that we mentioned
Yeah.
too. But until next time, remember to follow us on
Yeah.
Instagram and on TikTok at Two Therapists and a Cocktail. And follow us on YouTube. We are always posting
Yes.
new videos. We try to do it weekly, but like the title say, we are therapists, y'all. So
Life happens.
sometimes we can't get to these weekly videos. Okay. So follow us to Therapist Pod on Instagram and on TikTok. And until next time, y'all will see us. Bye.
Bye.